Hi, YouTube. Today we are reviewing a board game called Vinhos Deluxe. In Vinhos, you will make wine tokens and you will then spend those wine...
Wait, stop. I know that you don't want to start every one of the reviews with a sketch, but this is boring!
So what do you want me to do?
Well, we could do wine cowboys.
We've already done cowboys.
But it looks so cool. We could do like a James Bond wine Nerf martini wine thing.
009.
Or we could do, well, whatever this thing is.
That's my mother's hat.
Really? Hey, we can use this. We never use this. Look, I'm Wine Cthulhu. Yeah, but we have to do something cool.
I know. I'm trying. Look, I'm really...
Like when you went to Lithuania to film the side video.
That was cool.
That was so cool.
We should do something like that.
You know what? Vinhos is based in Portugal.
This doesn't look like Portugal.
No.
Hey, is it gate 15 or 51?
15. Why?
Oh!
We're in Malta.
Okay, not to panic. Wait, I think I know the guy that lives there. Do we just knock?
I guess.
Okay, let's knock. Oh, hi. Hey, Richard, listen, we were just on our way and can we come in and play some games with you?
Yeah.
Play a game?
Yeah. It's awesome. It's one of my faves. Let's go. So, this is Vinhos. It's a pretty simple game. It's not too hard. The first thing we have to do is we actually have to choose which vineyard we are going to have. So, but then there's also the immunologist you have to pay attention to. Although, I don't know if that's the right, it's immunologist. They're like wine scientists. Please don't tell Jen this, but I'm so happy I finally get to play purple because that just never, ever happens. Annabelle, Bruno, and Coyo, which I don't know if you noticed, they are ABC. So really, it's going to be, I really like Nino because it doesn't really something that you would want to bear in mind.
I'm gonna try.
Anyway, Dao, which again, I have no idea how to pronounce this. I mean, so this is the one that gives you a 3 cell. But then the tricky thing is, if I'm gonna go for that, then I gotta worry about whether you guys are going for that as well. Yeah, totally. I'm gonna get my starting farmer. Let's put this back and guys.
That was a fairly successful trip to Portugal. Do you know what else is successful? Vinhos Deluxe, and being a very complex and intricate economic puzzle about running your own wine wine conglomerate? That's not right. Wine company.
But most importantly, Vinhos is another child of Vital Lacerda, a renowned designer of Eurogames, aka dry cube pushers. But the best thing about the way Vital works is that he designs it from the top down. So the theme comes first, and then he researches it and lets the theme dictate the design of the game. Which is no mean feat, and the result of which is always a dry cube pusher. Now don't get me wrong, I love Euros, but for those of you who don't, I'm gonna try and convince you of something. Vital always manages to achieve something remarkable with his approach, a game that feels married to its theme through its mechanisms and at the same time being an intricate puzzle.
Vinhos is a heavy baby, and it likely caused a lot of pain on its way out, which is ironic because unlike most of us, it has been born twice, once in 2010 as the regular Vinhos, and one more time in 2016 as the special vintage that had a lot of the afterbirth cleared up and the talcum powder applied. Anyway, however, if you still want to play the original 2010 version, it's still here in all of its afterbirthy glory. In Vinhos, you're trying to score as many points as possible because what do points make? In Vinhos, you will score points for leftover money, you will score points for leftover wine tiles, you will score points for wine you haven't yet exported, and this is the most thematic element of the game, you will score points for tiles. But what do thematically tiles represent? Well, tiles. Okay, but that's not the fun part. The fun part is taking charge of the winemaking process, growing the grapes, planting them and harvesting them, making them into wine, aging them in your cellar. It's almost like you're on some sort of a journey. Like, Journey of the... Elaine, didn't I once do a segment called Journey of the Grape? Journey of the Grape, Journey of the Grape, Journey of the Grape, Grape.
I I am so sorry about that. Let's never speak of that again. When the game starts, you pick a starting region in which to place your first vineyard, and they have kind of a starting bonus, like a free thing or an ability, and it will send a ripple through everything you do in the game. And you know, there's only like 9 regions, no big deal. There's Ribatejo and Lisboa and Hemel Hempstead.
Hemel Hempstead?
Yeah, Hemel Hempstead.
I'm pretty sure Hemel Hempstead is not a winemaking region.
Yeah, it makes the best wine south of East Anglia. In fact, I have a bottle right here. Try some.
I don't... It doesn't look right.
Mmm, yum yum.
Why is it brown?
It's very mature grapes.
I don't want to
I
do
insist.
Okay.
Delicious, isn't it?
And if you'd like us to tell you that it gets easier from here, we're not going to tell you that. In fact, Vinhos is probably one of the most paralyzing games I have ever played. I have watched a grown person sit in silence for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, I am not exaggerating, with their head in their hands, trying to figure out what their next move is, and finally, at the end of it all, exclaiming, "I don't know how to do what I want to do," in utter panic.
On the surface, Vinhos is quite simple. You have exactly one worker, and you can go to any one of these 9 different action spaces and do the thing it says to do. And you only have 13 actions throughout the whole game, and the actions themselves aren't that complicated either. You can get one of these vineyards and put it in your estate and start making yourself wine. You can get a winery that you can also put in your estate and make your wine better. You can get an enologist or a farmer that will go in your estate and make your wine better. You can get a cellar which will make your wine better and also make it last longer. But just like the cake, the simplicity of this game is a lie.
Because you only have 13 goes in the game, every action you take counts, but almost every action you take will cost you money. And to further send you into a false sense of security, Vital Lacerda will hand you a giant pile of dosh. But just like starting a real business in life, you find that your starting capital will dwindle very quickly and you've got no more money to do anything you want, or more importantly, need to do. So how do you make money? Well, the only way to make money in this game is to take the wine selling action. But the problem is, wine is a resource, you might not want to get rid of it. And it is one of your 13 turns in the game. And then you find you don't get as much money as you thought you would. But most importantly, anytime you take an action in the game, and this is really the genius bit, you get to do it twice if you want to, but paying double the money, meaning that any money you made from selling wine is immediately gone, which is ironic because that's exactly how I drink my wine. Every time I buy a new bottle, it's almost immediately gone.
Last time we reviewed a game about winemaking, Efka got more and more progressively drunk, and this time he's promised not to do that. You might think this is torture, but actually it's a smart business decision. Wine in the game is a precious resource, just like money. You can sell it, or you can export it, or you can take it to the fair and show it off, or you can discard it for these multiplier tiles. The thing is, when you get your wine, the temptation is to sell it as quick as possible, but the longer you keep it in your estate, the better it gets. And the thing is as well, you haven't just got 1 or 2 wines you're keeping track of, but you've got 5 different estates that all can be full of wine of differing values.
So, Vinhos has all the hallmarks of a Vital Lacerda game. It has a single worker that you move to a different action spot every turn. It has branching decisions that single worker will make, send ripples through the game, and everything's going to be different every time you play it. But most importantly, and this is how Vinhos differs from other Vital Lacerda games like the Calorist or Kanban, is that there is no satisfaction, no immediate satisfaction from doing the things that you do. There's no instant gratification. In games like the Gallerist and Kanban, the actions that you do, or at least some of them, are cool. It's fun to do them. Whereas in Vinhos Deluxe, all you get to do is you get to build a winery, or you get to buy a new vineyard. And it doesn't even immediately do anything. Like, you buy a vineyard and it will add 2 to the wine you're making, or you buy in a winery and it'll add a 1 to the wine you're making, or if you buy an enologist it will add 2, but only if you have a winery, and if you buy a farm it will add 1, but only if you have a vineyard. Maths! And most importantly, it doesn't even do it then. You only get that increase in quality production during the wine production phase when you make the wine. So it is a slow burn, and I know that some of you are turning away from this game immediately, but to those of you who are hanging on, you might actually enjoy that. That might be a good thing about Vinhos.
So if you're still with us, you'll be happy to know this game is crunchier than a wine cork. 3 times during the game, you will take your wine to a wine fair and show it off to experts and get yourself some points around this totally separate track, but which will add to the main track. Now, you have a choice. You can either go just before the wine fair, or you can use one of your precious 13 actions to go earlier, which hopefully will get you more points, let you choose a multiplier tile earlier and get you more of these barrels because you fulfilled more criteria, and you need these to sell or export your wine. That adds a layer of tactics to an already complex game, but does it make it too complicated? That's not for us to say. But we can tell you that it does kind of give you a wine hangover headache, and not a regular wine either. That Hemel Hempstead stuff.
And once you're done with Vinhos 2016, there's a whole different game on the other side of the board, adding banking, meaning a more complex economical structure, and it's obviously a very, very gorgeous looking game. Its aesthetics are not just there to look pretty, they remind you of some of the fiddlier rules of the game, removing that brain work so you can focus it elsewhere, like maths, because maths is obviously important, because Vinhos never romanticizes the process of wine making. It never puts you in the role of a glorious vintner. No, it is about the economical simulation side of things. And obviously that's not for everyone, but Vinhos never aims to be a game for everyone. And it is a hard recommendation to make because this thing retails at £129 in the United Kingdom, which is obviously a lot. But there is a lot of game in this box. 2 games, but if you were to get this, would you get this or an equally gorgeous game from Vital Lacerda called The Gallerist? Well, The Gallerist has a lot more instant gratification, but this is a deeper, more complex puzzle to solve. It's a deep, deep barrel, and it'll get you, well, it'll take you a very long time to get to the bottom of it. And every time you do, you will gorge yourself completely. Perhaps even maybe a bit too much. If you enjoyed this video that is fine and mature, just like the 2 of us, then you should probably subscribe to our channel. You might have just discovered us from our recent Kickstarter, which is happening right now, that is there to support us and make more of this nonsense that also tells you a lot about board games. Then yeah, you should go ahead and back that Kickstarter and we'll make more things. And if you don't want to back our Kickstarter, that's also fine. Just hit the subscribe button, you'll see more things. Support us in other ways. It's all totally cool. Elaine hates wine, and yet she's drinking it, which shows you just how dedicated she is to what we do.